Hey, good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us here tonight on 20 Sides to Every Story. We're going to be playing the next chapter in our Planescape Turn of Fortune's Wheel campaign. Our characters are once again hitting the road, traveling through the Outlands, and are going to hit up the next in a series of gate towns that they are visiting to reattune some memories to the device that they have in their possession, the Mimir. And today they're going to be exploring the gate town of Glorium. But before we get into a little recap of where we are coming from the previous session and maybe get a little bit acquainted with our characters here, we just want to welcome you to the channel and say thanks for sticking it out and hanging out with us. We would also like to invite you to join our Discord server. The link to that is in the chat here. It's a great place to gather up and chat with people that love to play tabletop games. And I think a really cool thing that we've got going on is a number of us are heading to a convention next week, and we've kind of gone to some different conventions together over the course of the time that we've gathered up and met one another here online. And so if anybody happens to be at GaryCon or going to GaryCon, jump in our server and let us know. We'd like to meet up and chat with you. So the link to that is in the chat there. It's going to be a little quiet schedule. This is the last D&D game that we have on the channel for a couple weeks, and then tomorrow night we are going to have Free League Friday on Thursday. And we're going to be playing some Forbidden Lands with Isaac, and so those are pretty much the only two games we have going this week, and then it's going to get real quiet here for a little bit. But we will be back with this in 2 weeks' time once we're back from the convention and everything like that. So I think with that, without delaying us any further here, we're going to get started with the game. And tonight I had asked our players to consider coming up with 3 words that would define or maybe tell us really who is the character that they're playing without any explanation. They've all been playing their characters. Some of them have been playing their characters as different versions of themselves physically, their class, their heritage, all of that. So we'll see what they come up with. And I think we'll just go around. Everybody, maybe just tell us the name of your character, what they currently are, and drop those words on us. I think I will start in the middle, and I'll pick on Dawson first.
Me? Come on.
Yeah.
This guy?
Yeah.
Baldwin, you know me, the ooze dude musketeer. Some will call it a ranger. 3 words, resolute, compassionate poet.
Awesome. Let's kick it over to Robyn next.
All right, I'm playing Cerebella Storm. She is a wizard, an orc wizard, ambitious, utilitarian, survivor.
Awesome. Thank you. Go over next to Jenna.
Hi, I am playing Klakacht. He is currently a artificer human. And the words I picked for him are curious, disconnect, and resolve.
Awesome. Let's go to Isaac.
Hi, I'm playing Zilloff. Currently a dwarf, wild magic barbarian. Words that I have that I associate with my character would be acceptance, absolution, and altruistic.
Thank you. And let's go next over to Lyra.
Hi, I'm playing Basil Branson Barkley III, also known as Baz, currently a Eladrin Druid. 3 words for Baz are naive, remorse, and hopeful.
Awesome. So those are the characters here tonight. Previously, our adventuring party here made their way to Sylvania, where they found they're kind of expecting some kind of a carefree, lively party environment. Some of the things that they've heard about that gate town, they had arrived and found that it was not quite that way. It was suspended in time, frozen, apparently by the machinations of a time dragon going by the name of Renee. And they made their acquaintance, and it very quickly became apparent to the characters that this Renee knew them from the past and seemed to know something about their names, and they'd met many times before, but ultimately seemed a little bit paralyzed by the rules of changing the multiverse too much to tell them like a whole recap of everything that they knew. But they hinted at a few things. The dragon did enlist their help. It would seem that they were there in Sylvania because the glitching that had been happening to our characters, where they are dying and reincarnating as different alternate versions of themselves, there are other such glitching events that are happening throughout the Outlands, and the characters have seen some of these events, and then here in Glorium, it maybe became a little bit more pronounced, and they tried to help Renee based on some of their needs, but ultimately their efforts in trying to put Sylvania back together seemed less than the success that the Time Dragon was looking for. Renee answered some of the questions that the group had, gave them some warnings about the person that sent them out on this journey to find the Modron Rome, but eventually became very distraught when they saw that there was this little medallion that was laying on the ground. And it would seem that the amulet must relate to some existential dread that Renee had for themselves. And they quickly said that you needed to take it with you, that you would know what to do with it when the time presented itself to you. It didn't say much more than that. Renee then very much quickly took their leave of you, seeming to want to keep their distance from you, to not maybe further complicate the wrongness of everything that's going on, leaving you to be, leaving you wanting for more, I'm sure, of what has transpired in the past. But nonetheless, it may be in an effort to kind of forget about some of these unnerving details. Baldwin convinced the party to stay the night in Sylvania, and so you did. The evening was filled with drinking and partying, and the group letting off maybe just a little bit of steam after many stressful weeks traveling the Outlands. But ultimately, your quest in Sylvania was complete. You had made contact with the portal. You had attuned the Mimir. There was not much more left to do. And so the group has set their sights on their next destination, which is Glorium, to repair the Mimir and bring it to the portal to Isgard, which is said to be in Glorium. And so your group now travels away from the lush tree-covered realm that you have grown accustomed to these past few days, and the terrain gradually shifts from the dense, vibrant forest back to the varied and subdued landscapes of the Outlands. And eventually it'll gradually lead you to a rugged and majestic mountain range. Many days of travel you will undergo to get to your destination, but eventually you will find a great road which will lead you through the slopes. Occasionally you catch the glimpse of wooden watchtowers up in the mountains, buildings with pitched roofs where sentinels with proud and strong expressions give you nods of acknowledgement, and they correctly guide you towards the gate town of Glorium. Several days' travel eventually brings you within earshot of songs and shouts from up ahead. You clear a slope that begins to bring you down into a bayside village, where you can see the tops of sturdy-looking buildings which are dotted with chimneys, feverishly expelling smoke. Snow-capped mountains loom up above. The temperature has definitely become a chill, frigid. You can feel ice kind of forming on the metal of your armor and your bladed weapons and things like that. And you look down and you can see this village. There's a dock, or kind of like a small port on the far side that seems to would give boats access to the village. Although you do take note that there is a conspicuous lack of ships moored there. You also see flat open fields on the outskirts of the village, which seem to be filled with warriors and martial artists that are honing their skills in combat. You don't get the sense that this is an active, violent confrontation, but more like training, soldiers honing their craft and such. And there's yelling, there are chants, kind of war cries that are being called out uniformly among many young voices that fill the air. And as you are coming into the scene, Clack, you would notice the Mimir is chiming, as it has when it comes into general proximity. You know, it might still be miles out, but you know that you've landed in the right spot just because its eyes are starting to brim with kind of a swirling blue-green light.
Ooh, we're close. Ish. Closer than we were before.
Really cold. What do you think those folks down there are doing? It looks like they're training, practicing.
Yeah, I was gonna say training too. And you said they're like, it doesn't look like they're preparing for like some like war battle thing. It's just like kind of more like going over forms, I guess. Like
More like training. I mean, people are kind of paired up. Those that are martial artists are paired up with other martial artists and go, training in hand-to-hand combat. And it looks like in many cases one individual would be the lead, whereas the other maybe would be more on the defensive, and like it's more regimented than like a duel or combat. Oftentimes you might even see like a coach or somebody off to the sides. It seems to be a teacher or a mentor who's calling out moves or calling out, in the case of the warriors that have like blades and things like that, maybe calling out to thrust and then slash and like these kinds of calls.
okay.
Well, maybe we could ask them where this gate is. And get on our way, huh?
Yeah, maybe ask them more about what it's like what it's like here. I feel like I dropped the ball on the last portal I was at, so take a second to see what this place is about. Besides, I guess, training martial prowess.
Does it look like the training is really aggressive? Like the coaches are really like pushing them to be aggressive, or does it just look like sort of what they would be doing on a normal day?
Give me an insight check as you assess that.
Okay. Oh, that's a natural 20.
Natural 20. You get the sense that there is maybe a little bit of urgency on the part of the trainers.
So, like, maybe that they feel like they're threatened and something's imminent going to be happening here. They're expecting an invasion or to invade someone.
Yeah, you pick up
Well,
on words such as "Who else but you will defend our city or our
oh,
town?"
did you hear that? It sounds like they're expecting some kind of trouble here. I think they're practicing to defend their home.
Hmm.
All
On
the
our
more,
way, on our
yeah.
way. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say all the more reason, I guess, to ask some questions. I did want to ask you, Clack, what do you think happens with the information you feed to the skull? Like, are you maybe shaping how the world will be? Like, if you just make something up, is that gonna what kind of an impact do you think that'll have? If you
He
create
had
the reality you want, rather than what is.
Yeah, he has this look for a moment where he's like, as you're like talking, he's like, huh, and his like eyes get big and he kind of like looks at it like maybe a little scared and he's like, uh, like I never thought about it like that before.
There might be a lot of power in what you're saying to this skull, you know? Might be something to think about.
I think with that we should maybe take a little more time here compared to the last portal, if that's the case. Because now I think I really did them like a misjustice. You see him kind of like he's like looking at the skull again and is like kind of like investigating it, but otherwise he'll be like, I have no idea what happens. Like I was hoping in some off chance, like maybe like it had some connection to like the Modron, like if we like did this stuff or like if we kept traveling around, we'll just like, I mean, might as well do this while we're looking for the Modron anyway. Two birds with one stone. Um, but I
You've
have
al-
no idea what it's doing.
Well, I
you've
didn't
always
ask the question to be like a pressure on you. I'm just thinking it might be an opportunity.
Oh,
but you've always been honest. You've always been truthful about what your observations were, and I think they've always been pretty positive.
I like to think so.
Can you re-access the ones you made?
Hmm. He's gonna look at the skull and he's gonna go, what can you tell me about Faunal?
I have to reference something quick. Let's
No worries.
see if you can do that.
Okay.
Because here, what I was thinking, I had this thought since like the third session we had this thing. Could we just ask it what it already knows?
Oh my god.
We have never done that.
We just knew that it was broken in some fashion, and then we're like, yeah, it's broken.
Right. And we might just
Yeah.
be like, reinforcing a map, but if you could construct the new reality, I don't know, that could be kind of
Quack, based on you've already made checks related to the device, I think you already know that like you can't until it's repaired, you won't be able to actually use it. Like
Okay.
like once it's good to go, you would be able to.
Then
Yes.
gotcha. Okay. Maybe that's why I haven't like messed with it too much.
Well, also, let's just put a pin in it for now. And then once that's done, I'm really intrigued as to what the other gate towns were recorded as. The ones we haven't been to.
Hmm. Yeah, because it only referenced like what, 8 of them?
Yeah, these were
6 to 8 of them.
the missing data sets were for the 7 towns that you listed.
and there's
Mhm.
always some glitchiness in each of the ones we're going to that has the missing information. I wonder if the other portal towns are having trouble too, or is there a connection between the glitches and the missing pieces?
That's why we have to go to those, because they're the ones that aren't recorded are having problems.
Hmm.
Yeah. And if you're putting the pieces back in there, just saying maybe they fit differently, or if there's ever anything that you could do that makes it's just an opportunity. That's all I'm saying.
Just be truthful, right?
Oh,
What are you saying?
there's a lot of different types of truth, right? It's just a matter of perspective.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So be truthful to your truth, to our truth.
You see
Uh,
Clack just like, 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 uh,
well, just yeah. If it is what I mean, if this is what it is, there is a bit of pressure, and you, I guess what you've done is right. I wouldn't don't let anyone don't let anyone don't let them, you know, influence what you have to say.
I
The
He kind of just glances over. Anyway, there's a
stick to my observations.
we'll get back down. Maybe we should go talk to them. If maybe you think they need help, Baz, are we helping them? Is that what we're doing?
I'm wondering if this infernal breakthrough that's happening that we keep kind of coming across, if that's what they're expecting here. Isn't that what's
Well,
been happening in all these?
Or it might be a quirk of just this place. I mean, every place has their own little quirk, but these guys are like, oh, you better get your regiments going, or else bad things are going to happen. I mean, a place like Glorium really inspires, that thrill and, well, glory for, I guess, their case, battle. Maybe that's their thing.
is this a mixed group, or is it just a certain? Are they just humans? Is it?
I would say maybe mostly humans. There's probably some Goliaths.
Okay.
In the case of, you could see, maybe as you're trying to assess the demographic makeup of Glorium,
Mhm.
you see kind of in the middle of the fields, there is a woman who, I guess by all accounts, looks human-ish, but she stands probably a good 1.5 feet taller than everyone else. Broad shoulders. She has this like really majestic looking, almost like looks like a bearskin, maybe cloak that kind of wraps her over her pauldrons, and it looks like one of her arms must be some kind of like a magical prosthetic, because it's like all metal, all the way up, and she's like her other arm is bare exposed, like it's just like the cold doesn't seem to bother her too much, but her one arm, just you can kind of see like it's a little mechanical, moving. It doesn't look completely like fluid as it moves, and she has in her arms, she's scooping up this halfling who's kind of giggling and laughing as she scoops him up, and she like presses him up to like her neck area, and just like with her one flesh arm is just like she starts spinning and spinning, and she just shot puts this halfling. Like a big crowd kind of gathers around and is like watching her like wind this little fella up, and he seems to be enjoying it up until the point when he gets launched, and then like his face just goes as he's just like clearing the tops of buildings. It looks like there's like intentionally like a patch of like hay that he is like totally going to overshoot.
Cool.
And like everyone, there's a big gasp from the crowd. And then you see him like very quickly, like he pulls out like this little like the end of a medallion or something, and you can see he like gives it a little kiss, and all of a sudden, poof, he just starts to like kind of float graciously down to the ground, and everyone goes, "Aww," and everyone's clapping, and she is kind of giving a bow, and she starts like flexing that arm.
Well, it's good to see they've got their priorities straight.
Look at that
Well,
form.
This is getting a bit exciting. I don't know about you all, but I kind of want to get down there and see what they're doing.
Who's next?
Oh,
Oh,
Everyone takes a big step backwards. So you start to make your way down to kind of see what the action is or mingle amongst the people.
Yeah, but I don't want to be next, guys.
next
I'll do
for what?
That's fine. Here we go. I'll go first. It's no biggie.
We
I don't know, but does she want to be next? It seems
No.
like something fun. No, none of
I
you.
feel like being tossed across the city seems very demeaning.
I want to understand if it's the act of tossing or act of being tossed is what's next.
Oh, yes. Let's go. Come on.
Okay.
So you make your way over to where this, I'm going to say she's like easily like at least 7 feet tall. Probably a little bit taller than that even. So you go over and you make your way, and I don't think any of you are like particularly like even Cerebella, who's maybe the largest among you, is probably for the first time feeling diminutive again in the presence of this person. And she moves over. There's like a big wooden table that's laid out, and there's like tankards of ale that seem to have been poured. And oh, we got a raid coming in. Lord Gasamba, thank you so much for the raid. That is awesome. Coming in with 62 people. So hope you guys had a good game here tonight. Oh, and we got David's Thomas the Tank Engine is on the on the screen. Oops.
Still have flashbacks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I almost raided Lord Gasumba back because I wasn't paying attention to my commands. So luckily I canceled that before that happened. Thank you so much for stopping in. Thanks everybody that's coming over. Oh, we got some follows coming in. My head's already at Gary Con, Jay. I'm out of here mentally. So thanks so much for stopping in. Yes. Touch of Evil Doctor. I don't know if I'm reading that right. Thank you for the follow. That's awesome. And who else did I miss there? Savage Baron, thanks for the follow. I think we had a sub in there too. Oh, Lord Gasumba, thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. That's awesome. So much love coming in right as we're about to make an acquaintance with this giant Viking woman. She grabs a tankard of ale from the table, and she's just downing it almost in one gulp. Sundance Kid, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to Captain Juggalo. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And so she just kind of wipes the foam off of her mouth as you all approach, and she says, welcome, newcomers. I have not seen your faces around here. What brings you to Glorium? You have come to join us in testing your mettle, testing your battle prowess?
We
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Oh, I mean, we want to find the gate. We're looking for the gate, but yeah, that was pretty impressive throw. That was really good, actually.
Thank you. I did better yesterday, but there's just so much going on. You're here to find the gate. Well, you better pick up one of these tankards, lad, because you're about to be very disappointed in what I'm about to tell you.
Oh.
Oh.
But here, it's to you. Let's drink. She
Oh,
like starts like passing out some of these tankards of ale.
all right. I won't say no to a free drink, I guess. What? We're drinking a sorrow already?
We're drinking because we are now friends.
Oh, sure. Yes.
To friendship.
Friendship.
If you're not
Hey,
my
we're
friend,
friends,
then you're my
everybody.
enemy. And
No,
that
we're
is something that you
friendship.
don't want.
No, we don't want it. We're friends, right?
Yes.
Bess, have a drink, please. We're friends. Yeah.
Ask her name. Like friends know each other's names,
We're
right?
friends.
So,
It's emotion,
yeah.
right? It's not.
well, maybe introduce ourselves. Just friends, right?
Names
didn't-
sound good. My
Yeah.
name is Tears a Bonebreaker.
Oh, some
Stop
names sound
that.
better than others, man. I don't know. Here's a bone breaker. It's fitting.
That's an awesome name.
Thank you. And she gets all your names and everything like that. And she's like halfway through her ale by the time you're done with the pleasantries. Oh, thank you. Some call me Tim. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. And so she's like, oh, what were we talking about? The portal.
The gate, yeah.
The gate. Yes. Well, it's impossible to reach right now, frankly. All of the boats, there are no boats left. They've all been destroyed in the past few weeks. Whirlwind worm attacks. Very unheard of. But they must be coming forth from Isgard or elsewhere. But they've moved into the bay. Yes, there's no boats left. They've all been destroyed. And a couple of the combatants nearby must hear the conversation, and one of them calls out, "Oh, except for one!" And she just, no point in discussing that.
No, we could we could discuss it. There's one more left.
Put it out of your mind, lad. The courier is never going to sail again. Its captain, well, let's just say he's lost his courage. He hasn't sailed in years.
What caused the lack of courage?
You don't talk about it much, but he frequently, folk like you coming and looking for the portal will frequently ferry people there, or some of the other villages in the bay, and he had a partner. It wasn't just him and his friend Toll Frostmane. The two of them did this together. Oftentimes they would ferry people together. It's safer, even in peaceful times. The waters are choppy here. They are perilous, and it's good to have someone looking out for you. Well, needless to say, they met a storm out there, heading up the coast and heading to the village of Grackennock. And they made contact. They made their deliveries, but they picked up some passengers there as well, coming back here to Glorium. And it's a sad thing, really, what happened to Bicol. Captain Bicol. He was known among us as maybe one of the greatest captains of all. He was fearless. He would go out when the weather conditions were frightful and fraught with high winds and choppy waters. But ever since then, he came back and Toll was not with him. It would seem that he didn't make it, but Bicol returned. He doesn't talk much about what happened out there, just storms. They got caught by a storm. And he'll say that he's not fit to sail.
When was that?
Oh, must have been 3 years ago.
So that's not related to the attacks on the boats.
No, he never. Well, I mean, he never made mention of any kind of sea monster or anything out there. No, these attacks are more recent. Whirlworms are not really native to here. They're not known to live in the bay.
Where would they normally be from? Or what's their normal habitat?
Oh, well, most folk believe that they probably originate from Isgard. There are a few notable beasts like this out in the greater sea, but never so close to our settlements.
Gotcha.
And I got a couple of follows here. Thank you for the follow, Bushnit and Darth Sirik. Appreciate that. And Lyra, thank you for the cheer.
Train going.
Yes. So she tells you this. She's telling you this, and it seems like it's a sad story, but you almost get the sense that her core thing is that she feels sorry for this once proud captain, this fearless individual that was. You almost get the sense that she's talking about him like he's a folk hero that she had to see diminish, someone that maybe she looked up to when she was younger.
Am I understanding correctly that the boats, like they were ferrying people to the gate? So no boats, no ferries to the gate.
There are no boats except for his.
Well, except for the one, yeah.
So Zilloff's gonna close his eyes for a moment and just kind of try to remember these shattered memories and go, Baldwin, you're a captain, right? Yeah.
I look at myself in my present state. I would say so. I am indeed a captain of sorts.
Oh, yeah, you are. Yeah, I remember you were good. You were good. Maybe some words to this fellow might maybe, I don't know, get him back. Don't you have some words maybe you remember about captaining a ship? I remember ropes and stuff. That's what I remember.
I think there was something called tonsils or something.
Tonsils? I don't know.
Gowns or something?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Something about jamming spells. I don't remember the exact configuration of words. It's all jumbled up. But it's pretty much the same, right? I have this thing called water vehicles apparently in my inventory, so perhaps I might know a thing or two.
Tirza just kind of chuckles and she says, she kind of gives you like kind of a strange look. She says, yeah, you're more than welcome to try if you can get him out of his sorry state. We'd love to see the old Bacall back among us here in Glorium.
Yeah, we if anyone could do it, it could be us. I don't doubt my friends. We've been through a lot there. Miss Bonebreaker, Mrs. Bonebreaker, Miss.
I never married.
Oh.
She raises her mug and she says, well, then we drink to your success in motivating Bacall.
Yeah, oh, okay, yeah, we'll drink again. Sure.
Through the houses.
I think that I've done pretty much all I could do today. I'll drink. Sure.
So
There we go.
she polishes off the second of her tankard, and then she points you down to the docks, and she says, "You'll be able to find him down there. Even though he doesn't set sail anymore every day, he's out tending to his ship. There is a desire still within him. He hasn't forgotten. He's just... It's like a gloom hangs over him. But you seem a sunny bunch. I'm sure you can pull him out of it."
That's us. Ready? We're all ready?
Should we
I-
ask
Give
what?
him his
I- So
Should we-
there's my drink.
Or should we ask if they're expecting an invasion of some kind?
You want to ask that? She...
No, I'm afraid of her.
Oh. I'll ask. I'll kind of hear you kind of say it and say, "Oh yeah, we got an invasion coming or something."
What gave it away? Yes. Yes, we face many threats, many enemies, but we've seen evidence. The giants move and become the sons of Sutor and the frost giant god, who I can't remember the name of. They move. And we must be prepared. They have not set foot in Glorium in many years, but these days we hear of many strange things happening amongst the Outlands, and an invasion by the giants would be not so out of character. We must be vigilant. Right, man? Yeah!
You know, then you'd almost think when they're training, they wouldn't aim for each other. They'd aim higher because they'll be fighting giants. You know? I don't know. It's just a thought.
You gotta go for the toes. That's where they're weak.
Oh, I guess I never fought a giant before.
Yep.
I did not know that.
No one
Dangerous to
expects the
skip away.
toes.
Yeah, I've met a few. Yep, they are.
They hurt.
I've met one.
And
Oh,
did
yeah.
you see their toes to be a weakness, Clap?
Oh, that was their strength.
Yeah, so some mixed data on that particular. Maybe it wasn't a frost giant.
Well, maybe you have to take the toes out because that's the most dangerous part.
Get him on the ground, that's what I say.
All of the foot is dangerous. And everything above.
You know.
Too much.
Too much.
Too much.
I was just gonna kind of go and put his arm around you and just like,
So, Tears of Bonesbreaker, what's your greatest feat today? I mean, this whole town seems to be all up in arms and all stuff. What's the greatest thing you've done?
Well, I slew a death tyrant. You know what a death tyrant is? It's a beholder that has come back from the dead. Yeah, we get a few of them wandering up once in a while. But there was one who commanded a whole slew of living beholder allies, and I led my comrades into battle against it, and I felt I got hit by one of its rays, and she kind of reveals a little bit of a wound as she pulls back like her cloak, and you can see there's like this like almost like necrotic looking like the blood cells and the veins are all black in that spot, and she says, "I lived through it, and I charged at him, and I got right in his face, and I cleft my axe right into the light." of his open socket and cleft his bones in half.
Wow, that's amazing.
Indeed, a great tale, I'd say, and you have the scars to prove that you've bested the beast. To your victory!
Oh, yes, another one. Let's do it.
Yeah, I guess so. Here we go.
I just like
Yeah, one more.
the mug in my head or something.
Gets subsumed into the membrane and just kind of swirls around, then spits it back out.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of takes it like a tissue from you. Yes. Well, you have much to do. You're going to try to accomplish the impossible, and that is to bring the call out of this. So I will leave you to it, and don't worry about us. We will be ready should the giant strike. And then she takes her leave of you and like kind of gets back to she just kind of like, you can tell like nobody's going to pair up and like do training exercises with her. She just plays this more motivational role where she kind of wanders through and plays the good cop to all of the the trainers are breaking down their fighters, right? And then she comes in, she's just given affirmations left and right to kind of raise spirits. So, you all would like to head to the docks?
Yes.
All right.
Well, actually, I'm sorry. Before we go any further, I know there's a lot of... I know that's probably what we need to do next, but I feel like once we go to the docks, we might be leaving. Is there any place where maybe... Could I ask Bonebreaker if there's any place I could find like a magical like weapon or axe or something substantial?
That is an excellent question.
She says, a battle axe? I'll give you the very battle axe that I killed that death tyrant with. If you can get Bakal to sail again.
Okay. Sure.
And you are
Deal.
left with not knowing whether that means that she thinks it's going to be that impossible that she won't have to give it up, or if she actually is genuine.
Does Bakal mean that much to you?
The message that would bring to these young warriors here, the resolve that it would bring to them in the battles to come, that means everything to me.
So, Cerebella, is this like a Schrodinger's axe situation?
Well, I do think the axe does exist. It's just, will it be in Zilloff's hands or not? I guess in some ways that could work. Yeah.
But Zilloff, how do you know it's even something that you want?
I want it. I know I want it. I mean, it seems pretty impressive.
There's like a big stone like in the middle of the field, and there's like this just magnificent looking, pristine, battle axe that's like wedged in it. It's got runes, like, you can tell it's probably infused with like giant magic because it's got like all of that design work is detailed in the metalwork of the flat of the blade.
I mean, look at it. It's beautiful.
And like the heft of the wood, like it looks like that handle is probably like it was crafted from a branch from the world tree.
Oh.
Oh, I think baby Zillon would be so proud of you if you were able to wield that axe.
So long.
I'd be inspirational.
Huh. You haven't. Yeah. Okay. Well. All right. Let's go. Let's see what we can. I don't want to talk to this. I don't want to see Zilon.
So would it technically be Zilon Jr. or Zilon the Second?
No, it's nothing. It's a damn worm.
No, you don't say things like that. He can hear you. Look at how sad you made him.
Uh,
For those who don't know, the group has in a tiny jar some kind of infernal worm plucked from the river Styx that looks just like Zilloff. Not
And we
great.
named it, and we're taking care of it, and so it's gonna, grow up and be something magnificent.
oh yeah, I guess that when I've never got like a response when we fell asleep to my note that I left in my pack about asking what the hell that was.
No.
No, okay.
No, and you probably don't have any reason to think like
But they're gonna, yeah.
Like you don't know if you're being visited by him like more frequently. Like you only know of like you were going to do some kind of a gold exchange, but yeah, you don't know
Yeah.
what the message necessarily is there, or if it's a follow-up call. Yeah.
Do you
This is
think
the
any?
longest I've ever been able to keep something alive, though, so I'm very proud.
It's like a succulent.
Yeah, that's what you want.
We haven't been feeding it.
I absolutely have. I've been trying a lot of different things. We'll, see just what works. He seems
What-
partial to the trail rations that I'm carrying.
What does it look like when it eats the trail rations?
He looks very happy. Happy and content. His oh god kind of sounds like a happy oh god, rather than a I'm dying and this is awful, or that kind of thing. Anyway, the first step in earning his pride is convincing this captain to sail. So, what do we know about persuading people to do things they don't want to do? What approach?
I'm not very good at that part though.
That's why I'm thinking we should brainstorm a little. I don't think we're a threatening group. You guys are a little bit soft for that, have to say. But maybe
Mhm.
maybe we find I don't know, something to motivate him.
When I was of a higher status, I always found money to be very convincing. But I don't know if I have a ton of that.
Money can be very motivating.
Actually, I'm not doing too shabby.
She seemed to connect his lack of courage, and this is sounding like the stupid Wizard of Oz movie, but she seemed to connect his lack of courage to the loss of, his confidence when his friend went missing. Maybe there's something to poke at there.
So we find his friend.
Oh, that'd be a nice way to do it, yeah.
That's a very ambitious goal, considering he's been gone for 3 years.
We
at
either
sea.
find his friend, or maybe get him to think of it as this is a way to like redeem himself, or
Maybe
Or it will be.
maybe his friend is on an island surviving off of fish and your survival grit.
I don't know if we want to go that way.
Yeah.
Maybe he's lonely and we can give him Zillon.
oh,
Oh.
That'd be nice. Yeah, we should do that.
or maybe he and his friend had like a falling out and he murdered his friend and that's why he feels the way he does. We don't
Well,
really
let's
know
find
until
out.
we go talk to him, right?
Captain?
So you make your way down to the docks, and
Should we pretend to be like Baldwin's crew?
I mean, you could. What do you know about navigating sails?
Nothing.
The seas?
Wind
What's
is
the sea?
involved.
The sky, well, sometimes in the sky there is some wind, but not really. But that's a whole different story. Oh boy!
I know those sails. I'm sorry, I don't know sky sails, just boat sails.
Typically, they're actually pretty similar.
What does the sea look like?
Wet. Oh. So, do you know water?
Yes.
A lot of it.
Oh.
As far as your eye can see. And
Like
everyone,
that?
yes, like that.
Just
Exactly.
like that. Just like that. Just that. If you're wondering what it
That
was,
is the sea.
that's the sea. Yeah.
That is a lot of
Oh.
water.
I think let's keep on going. I really want.
Rule number 1: don't drink it. Don't drink it.
Why? It's water.
Well, oh boy. Here we go. And then I'll just like give a crash
Go over.
course of sea travel before
Oh, okay.
you to the docks.
Really want
All right. So you make your way down to the docks. There are many, many piers that reach out into the bay. The waters today seem to be pretty choppy. And you just hear like the crashing of the water up against kind of the rocky lip of the town. And even though there are all these piers, there are no ships docked there except for one. And it is quite peculiar looking, I would say. It looks like a rowing vessel that has benches on the inside for, looks like 8 in total. But the strange thing about this ship is that if it weren't for the oars and like seeing the benches within it, you might not see it exactly as a boat, because the entire outside of it is feathered and has wings. And at the front of the vessel, it has a head of a raven, black feathers. And it seems to be breathing, and like the head of the raven like looks about and is kind of scanning the waters. And there is a individual inside the boat, kind of at the I guess a little captain's landing in front of the rows of benches where the rowers would seat themselves. And you can see this kind of lanky, tall, older looking orc. Hair is kind of pulled back in a ponytail, but it is graying. And his skin is kind of very leathery and dark. And he seems to be pacing about, kind of lost in thought, looking out at the waters occasionally as you come down into the docks. The head of the raven takes notice of you as you approach and goes, "Rah!" Makes a squawking noise, and he kind of is alerted and notices you all and kind of just does a silent nod and then turns his back to you.
So Baz is going to be absolutely amazed by this ship, obviously, and he's going to just be like nudging everybody and saying, "Do you see that? Am I seeing that? Do you see what I see? It's like, is it? Do you see what I see? It's a raven, right? It's a bird. It's not a
Looks
ship.
like
It's a
it.
bird.
maybe.
I don't. Have you ever seen one that big?
A ship or bird?
The ship or the bird?
It's a bird. Look at it.
I don't think
Oh.
so. No.
Both no.
Slightly
Maybe.
smaller, but no.
That's amazing.
Is that one of
Maybe
those sky ships you were talking about there, Captain Baldwin?
No.
Okay.
This is more bird.
Exactly. It's a bird.
It's a plane. Oh, never mind. It's a boat. I think we're going crazy here. Okay. What conversation do we have now? Are we
with the
crew
bird.
here? No, with, the captain.
We could,
I mean,
right?
you could try to talk to the bird. Do you speak bird?
Yes.
Then
Y-
go
yes.
for it.
But do we want to talk to the captain first?
Yes. Yeah, let's do. Hey, hail, Captain.
There is no captain here.
Hail, friend.
Hello. I'm sorry if you're lost. I can give you directions to the battlefields.
No, we're actually looking to get through the gate.
It's going to be difficult for you.
How so?
There are no boats going out there now.
Why would that be?
They say whirlworms in the bay. They're quite dangerous to go out, even if you had one.
I may not be an expert per se on whirlworms, but what do you call this fine vessel?
This one is staying dockside indefinitely. It's too dangerous. Besides, don't have a crew.
Well, I may not be able to do everything, but I may know a way around a ship or two. Perhaps we could do an exchange of goods per se?
You don't want to sail with me. I'm cursed, friend.
Oh, friend, we're all cursed in our own special ways.
Hmm.
More does you realize?
Actually pretty good at breaking some curses too, to be honest. We got rid of a few in some ways.
Well, I have met with many diviners and enchanters and healers to try to wipe away what plagues me, but nothing is taken. I can feel it lingers on in my heart. I will not risk. No, it's out of the question.
Is this one of those self-imposed curses, do you think?
Mine is not self-imposed. I lost a. He
We've all
stops.
lost something. We've all lost something, friend. Believe me. And we're all searching to some way get it back. So, talk to us about it. Maybe we could help you.
So you're kind of going the empathetic listening
Yeah,
route.
I shouldn't be the one doing it. I did it, so.
Give me a persuasion check.
No rerolls yet, huh?
No rerolls yet. Be
Oh,
slow
man.
about clicking that button.
Oh, man.
They have-
Nice
they have
and high,
confidence in
that's
us.
all. Just roll like a big
5 minute
number.
break.
Mhm.
All right, here we go. Okay. It's solid. It's going to be a solid one. I know it. An 11.
11. He says, my troubles are my own. All you need to know is this boat is not safe. It is not safe. And he looks at the raven and he just says, I will not risk the life of another friend. The raven looks back very sorrowfully.
Can you communicate with them?
Not directly, but when you've been together as long as me and Scrag here, we understand each other.
Well, if you'd like, I have the ability to communicate with more bestial things. I mean, you say you have an indirect relationship. Would you like to talk to them more, personally? Get to hear the actual words they want to say to you.
I don't have anything to say.
I feel like put you through, though. You may not want to say it right now, but perhaps
Sometimes it's best to listen.
Maybe Scrag has something he wants to say to you.
That's good. I was going to say that one, too.
Okay, Baz, give me a persuasion check.
Oh, God.
You said it before I did. That's the thing.
16.
Nice.
Pretty good.
We are not a persuasive group. Well, some of us anyway. Like, I'm not either. Our bonuses here.
I'm more intimidating than I am persuasive.
He doesn't say anything. He just kind of like throws his hands up as if to kind of give you the space to do what you're going to do. He's not like stopping you.
All right, they're done. There we go. May I, Captain?
Again, he just kind of gestures.
Baz is going to say, ask him if he can fly. Ask him if he can fly. Ask him if he can fly.
Calm down. One step at a time. And I'll hop aboard the vessel, kind of go up towards the head of the ship, and cast Speak with Animals.
All right. All right, so you gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate. Okay. You suddenly cast this spell. The raven is looking at you. And it says, it's painful for him to relive that day. It's why he's reluctant to speak to you.
Perhaps you could be of assistance?
Yes, I suppose. I sense that in your quest to find the portal, he might be your only chance. But in that, maybe you'll be able to help him. He, many years ago, him and his friend, Toll Frostmane. Toll was a towering Gardenal who captained a ship named the Allure. And we would head out together on trips to ferry passengers all throughout the bay and beyond. We even poked our heads into Isgard from time to time. And there were many storms, there were many treacherous waters in our times, but nothing like that day 3 years ago. We had traveled to Grakenok. It's a village of Bariars, some distance to the north. Bacall was never one to really ask too many questions of his passengers, just as he doesn't seem like he'll ask you too many questions here now. He's always known to be discreet. As long as his passengers paid, that was good enough. Well, in Grakenok, we picked up a stranger who told the call that their name was... I suppose it doesn't matter anymore. They're long gone. But we were traveling back here to Glorium when dark storm clouds overhead started to billow up. The Dark Stranger told Bakal that it is a shadow that loomed over him, that it would engulf us, me, the Allure, everyone who trusted him as a leader, and that we would all perish. And then the stranger disappeared in a puff of smoke. No trace. And we were in moments in a very unnatural storm that engulfed both myself and the Allure. I'd never seen Bakal so shaken. He was a web of fear. He was second-guessing himself. He was making convoluted decisions, shouting back and forth to Toll on the other ship. And they became separated. And Bakal made the decision to turn away from the storm. There's never been any sign of any of the passengers or Toll. Some debris from the ship washed up on shore eventually. It became pretty clear what had happened. And Bakal has hung on to that ever since. He's never forgiven himself for that. He's taken the words of this, whatever it was, this spook, to heart and believes that he can't go back out onto the sea. Not for any reason. Not for any purpose. He must stay grounded. And so we've stayed here this entire time.
Which right. The stranger's name, even though you don't want to say it, would you mind telling me at least?
Valen.
Have we ever met someone by the name of Valen? I don't think we have. Nope. Is there anything you'd like to tell Bakal yourself now that we're, really kidding? Thanks for the story, by the way. It may help.
Tell him that I still remember the compassion that he showed for me, and to trust that the best way to break free from this shadow is to test himself, to become the warrior, become the sailor he once was. That's still within him. It's just obscured. Even if he doesn't believe in himself, I still believe in him. Tell him to show himself the mercy that he showed me.
Thank you for your story.
And this entire time, Bakal just kind of, he probably steps off the ship while you're talking, just knowing that, like, probably his intimate secrets are being talked about. And so he, like, goes and walks to, like, one of the other piers and is just, like, standing solitaire by himself looking out at the sea.
So should we just take the ship then, since he left?
No.
I don't think that'd be a good idea. No.
Can he fly? What did he say?
My friend would very much like to know if you can fly.
Not anymore.
No.
Well, he could for 10 minutes if I had my way.
Well, that's the story as I was told. How do you think we should go about this?
Of convincing him he has his courage all along. He just has to kind of believe it and tap in to what's inside him. That's a tough one.
I think the words that you heard are true, and hopefully that might make a difference. Why don't we go talk to him, huh? There, Captain.
What is a captain without a ship? Okay.
A captain without a ship. All right, here we go.
I will maneuver over towards the other dock where Bacall is staying. And for the sake of not making myself laugh in any capacity, I'm going to talk normal. But your friend has told me of the events that transpired a few years ago, as I assume you're well aware.
He did he? Well, then you understand why I can't go out.
I could see that for some circumstances. I myself was lost for a time. I've done a heinous act that I thought I could never forgive myself for many years ago. But then as I journeyed on through life, I come to realize that I'm more than what my past made me. And being able to forgive and let go of what I have done helped me to be the person I am today. And perhaps you're still on this journey yourself, and being able to forgive yourself for the actions you may have taken where there was no fault of your own is still worth something. You've done, I mean, even during this circumstance, you saved however many people. You couldn't save everyone. I mean, I wish I could save everyone that I thought I could protect. I've lost many along my journey. But you're still here. And sometimes you just need to not only show mercy to others, but show mercy to yourself. Remember that you are still a warrior to this day.
Make a persuasion check at advantage.
"14."
He kind of puts his hand on your shoulder and he looks at you and he says, well, to one who has regrets, lost friends, you understand the anchor that weighs on my soul. But we are changed by that, friend. We are changed by that experience and wisdom. That is what we've gained. The wisdom to know when not to imperil ourselves and others. I'm sure if you ask around, you'll find another sailor, someone better than me. You can see he's like almost like there's this like it's not quite like he's moved to tears, but there's just like that heavy emotion that's like hanging on his eyes. They're kind of a little red.
Well, if you ask me, and ask, frankly, everyone here, you're the best one that's ever been.
Nobody remembers that.
Are you sure? Not even 10 minutes ago, when we just got to this town, you were the first person that I heard of being a great sea captain.
They've long forgotten about me. They've turned their attentions to new threats. They seldom come and speak with me any longer.
Are you a betting man, friend?
Yes. He kind of grins a little bit.
Why don't we take a stroll around town? Just a group of us. We don't have to do too much. Stop by an inn or two. I guarantee the first tavern we get into, someone is going to recognize you and call out your name. And if that doesn't happen, we'll stop asking you.
This is what it will take to get you to leave an old man alone with his thoughts and get on with my day. Then so be it. Lead the way.
I will sit myself up from the dock and start walking back towards the group. We're going to find a tavern.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah, we just spent all that time partying. Is this a new side of you or something, Baldwin, where everywhere we go, it's going to be like a pub crawl?
Yes. Let's call it that.
Oh well, if you wouldn't mind drinking with us, then yeah. He's gonna ask the orc sailor.
Yeah. I'm not really in the mood. You didn't say I had to have a drink.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Check out the town, huh?
10 minutes.
Well, let's go. You lead the way, Baldwin.
I'm going to lead us off by going straight back to Bonebreaker as the only person I know that has alcohol anywhere.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly a tavern, but there's like a little outside sort of, bar. There's drinking. There's a lot of drinking. That's the goal. And so you make your way back, like just on the outskirts of the town, like the last row of houses or whatever. That's where like these big open fields are. And there isn't. There's probably little patches of like drifts of snow and things like that. It's not like totally like blanketed in snow, but like there's just like a crispness to the grass and everything all around you where the warriors are facing off against one another. And you can sense as the group of you comes in to where these warriors are squaring off against one another, they all look and they notice Bakal with you. And you just you can sense there's a deep reluctance to acknowledge. They all recognize him, but the warriors themselves don't seem to make too much of a fuss. And you can see that Tirza is again at like the far end of the fields, kind of showboating a bit. She's she's like trying to pick up a goat, and she's like trying to lift it with one hand and then milk it with the other. Like there's like the little halflings like by her with like some bottles, and she's doing it, and she's like, "Look at this," and clap, 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 clap.
Some strange things pass for entertainment around here.
Got a spare glass?
Halfling looks over at you and gives a nod, and like tosses a bottle over to you. It's got milk in it.
Sweet. I'll sadly just like, as I'm like going off to step to the side, I'm gonna just like reveal Bacall to the group a little bit. It's like, oh, thank you. Like kind of walk the one direction, so he's more front and center.
Sounds good. He kind of takes a side glance at the milk that's just been tossed into your hands, and he says, "This was not the bargain."
Oh, it's okay. We're just on the way there. It's fine.
Okay. So you're kind of you're like kind of like walking with him. I'm imagining like the rest of the group is following your lead with him.
Yep.
Anything in particular that you're doing?
I'm trying to see like how's the crowd's like the generic populace's reaction to him as he's walking by. So I was thinking like if Bonebreaker is such a big fan, I was hoping that maybe she would say something.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she's a little distracted, and the means of her distraction is causing the others to like people. You're getting the sense that they're looking at Bacall. Like it's peculiar that he's made his way from the docks to the fields. But it's a mix of kind of awkward tension in the air. Like people don't want to call out or cry out his name because he's been moody for 3 years. And so like people have probably tried to reach out to him, and you know what I mean? Like there's this weird, awkward, like, do we make a big deal out of this? This is the first time that we've seen him. So like, let's just like people are acknowledging like, oh, hey, Bacall, but like not in the sense of like, it's this great champ. You know what I mean? Like that's the tenor of what's happening. Like,
Anyone else got any ideas?
Well, I mean, if that goat is kind of, I need to get the attention of the Bonebreaker, so I'm gonna go and try to snatch the goat out of her hand. Correct, or is it a?
Yeah, it's in her. She's got like her one.
Yeah.
Her one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and try to snatch it out and be like, "Look who's come to see ya!" Yeah, but I'm gonna try to do my best to kind of.
Okay, give me a strength athletics check.
Can I rage?
Sure.
Thanks.
Look who's come to see you.
How much did you have to drink?
Oops, that's not what I wanted. Sorry.
Are you sure?
Oh, was it the same? It's not even the same thing, but
you got a crit, so
okay. Add an additional 3 to that crit then.
So you used to go and snatch it. And she's like, "What the hell was that? He's not done being. She's not done being milked."
Oh,
Wouldn't drink that
That's-
milk, guys. That's
Yeah,
probably
drink. Wake up! So look who we brought. As I'm kind of like slowly putting down the. Come to.
Bacall? And as soon as she makes the acknowledgement, like everybody likes, very clearly like looks over, and she says, "Bacall, I told these individuals that it couldn't be done, that you couldn't be brought from the pier, and here you are. You're ready to train. We need warriors like you on the battlefield to defend Glorium." And he's like kind of very kind of sheepishly like looking around, and he says, "Well, my talents were never fit for open battlefield. My place has always been on the waters, but as you know, I can't go back out there. And she says, "Ah, nonsense! Of course you can. Of course you can. You're the only one left. You're the only one who can brave those waters. And these folk right here, I don't know exactly why they want to go out and see the portal, but damn it, I see if it seems important. Yes, important."
Yes, very important. Redemption for ourselves as well. Yeah.
Bring back our sense of honor.
I'm getting more Gilligan's Island vibes, but go with what they're saying, because that's probably better.
I don't have a crew any longer. And you can see, like, one by one, like, people are stepping forward and they say, "Bacall, you just say the word, Captain. We're still here. We're still with you." And there's like 10 individuals like emerge forward, and they've all got the tattoos that suggest that they are sailors that have seen probably many voyages out into the waters. And there's just a twinkle in all of their eyes to see Bacall walking out amongst them again. And this outpouring of like all these people like coming forward to say that they would sail with him seems to be enough. And you can see Bacall kind of for the first time like maybe warm up a little bit, and he just says, "Okay, maybe. There's one thing we have to do first before I'll go. I need to go to the well. I need to hear from the seer what might happen." And everyone just kind of like is quiet, but then Tirza says, "Well, of course you're gonna see the seer, right?" And she's like motioning over to you all. "All right, you'll go with him. You'll hear that everything is going to be fine, and that you will succeed in making your way to the portal and returning to us."
Yes. Yes.
We could do that.
And just to be clear, there's a seer that lives in the well. You go to the well and it says something.
No, more of a temple. It's a tradition for us sea captains to get a report, see what they see in the stars or in the waters or whatever they see down in the well. Give us an indication of what we might be able to expect.
Oh, okay. So the seer looks into the well and sees something and reports on that. They're not like a well creature or something. Okay. Yeah, I'm game. Let's go to the well and the temple. Follow the yellow brick road. We can do this.
Bacall starts to like move forward, and like the crowd kind of splits. You get the sense he's like leading you away from the village. And like through the fields and like, mountainous landscape again. But you can see like kind of far into the distance that there is like something that looks kind of like a ramshackle building of sorts. And that's like where he doesn't really say much about where he's going other than he's going to the well and he's beelining it for that marker.
Oh yeah, I'll follow, but I'm gonna ask one of my friends here. Oh my gosh, you guys are all such goody two shoes. Maybe Zilloff? I don't know. He's a good guy, but he knows stuff. I'm like, do you think we need to prime this well a little bit and make sure it gives the answer it's supposed to give? Or can we trust that things will just happen the way they should?
I think I don't know. I feel like they would. They should. I don't. We shouldn't mess with these. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. Yeah.
You weren't the right person for, but okay,
No.
thanks
Yeah.
for your
Oh yeah.
feedback
Yeah.
there.
Don't
Yeah.
stop messing with everything.
We need to
No.
work
Just
out.
let
We
it.
need to get out of here. And if
It's
the well
important.
tells him, "Oh, don't go out there. The shadow man's out there or something," that's not going to work for us.
Then we have to talk to him again.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know,
we're so
but
persuasive at that. Okay, all right. Just
I,
thought,
we can't. Yeah. No. This. We have to do it right. We have to do it right. It's important to him. It's important. It's something.
How did I get stuck with these people? I just.
Oh God.
Great. So you begin. You're nearly there. You're approaching now a building composed of large slabs of natural rock that are encrusted with barnacles and seaweed. Very, very far removed from the village. It almost feels like somehow this little building is like perpetually in the shadow of this mountain that looms overhead. It isn't a very homey feeling thing. And the entrance is, it's further gives you the willies by the fact that there are these two statues that stand on either side of the entrance, which is just an open archway. There's no door or anything. Like, it's just an open archway that leads into the darkness. And these two statues depict hideous sea serpent deities that are kind of like with big, fanning fins that kind of create like a mane around a serpentine head. And from the darkness within the archway that would lead into the building, there is like a little bit of like a bioluminescent glow. It's like kind of little turquoise glow that's like filtering out into.
So dark in there.
Very wobbly looking thing, but the captain doesn't seem too bothered. He just kind of like looks to, I guess, make sure that you're still following, and he's gonna like kind of duck his head in and move within the building.
I'm gonna cast produce flame on my hand and just make a little light to light the way.
Okay.
Follow the captain.
It's like,
As you've got some more brighter light coming in, you look around as you're all ducking in and moving your way in. You see a comely chamber within, very sandy floor, very gritty. You can see that the glow that was being cast out comes from fungi that clings to the interior walls. And I don't know, like it's probably a 20-foot by 20-foot room within, and there's a well central to this, I guess, a temple or hovel or whatever you want to call it. And around the lip of the well, there's all these numerous black candles that are lit. And from behind the well, there's a lone figure that's like staring down into the inside of the well. Wretched looking woman with gray, pale skin, and her hair is just a tangled weave of wet. Just black hair. It's got little pieces of like sea creatures like stuck in it, and seashells, a little bit of driftwood maybe from like shipwrecks or something. And she's wearing this headdress that's just kind of composed of bones. It kind of clatters a little bit as she moves. She lifts her head up as she sees you all come into the chamber. And she says, for what purpose does Bacall Steelbane once fearless captain. Seek the wisdom of the deep. And Bacall seems hesitant to answer, but he eventually says, I need to take to the bay. I need to once again take my vessel out. As you know, face the dangers that are out there. These folk who are with me, they have important business at the portal, and that is what I am. I am a ship captain. I ferry people to their destinations. I help them get to where they are going. I need to do that again, but I need to know what we are going to face. She just like reaches into like the rags that she is wearing, and she pulls out a bag. Seems like it looks like sand to you, but she kind of fills up a hand and kind of like drifts it, lets it filter through her fingers and drift down into the well as she looks down below and says, your journey is still shadowed by the same darkness foretold to you many years ago. But you misunderstood, Bacall. The storm that eclipsed you and took the life of your friend is the one that lingers on in the depths of your soul. You have forgotten yourself and have allowed fear to take up residence. Your fate is intertwined with the fate of many, the dozens and dozens who stand here among us in this very room. And she just kind of like smiles as she looks over the faces of the party.
Uh-huh. Counting. On my fingers. Yeah. Yeah.
We are part of the dozens.
Bacall just kind of like looks like he doesn't know what that he's very confused, and you get like he's unnerved a little bit because he doesn't ask a lot of questions of his passengers, but suddenly you get the sense that he's regretting his policy on that.
Wish we could reassure you. We don't really understand it ourselves. Sorry.
And then he just looks at her. He says, so, will there be danger? And she says, oh, yes. But it is the danger that you must face to break the veil. Bacall, you need to remember who you were and become who you are. In many respects, it's just as these fine folk have come here to help you, Bacall, you might be able to help them. They cling to many stories. Many stories. Histories, memories that don't really define them, but they are stuck, believing themselves to be in one lifetime or another. Maybe you can help them become what they are.
Zilloff is just like staring off, like staring at the lady, but kind of just like lost in thought about like what she's talking about and what she means. But worried about the future, but he doesn't say much. He didn't say anything.
She looks at you and she says, "The future is just as bad, young man." Or you're presenting as a woman right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or,
But he still identifies as Zilloff, the blue
okay,
dragonborn.
yeah. If that's she'll say it that way then. Young man. There shouldn't be a future you if you do your job right. Make this all right again.
Shouldn't be. It's in my mind, right?
We are the future we want to be.
She just sighs. She says,
Honestly, Black,
Wow.
I don't think any of us are meant to be here. Right? We're not supposed to be here. Like, we're not supposed to be here, but we're not even really supposed to be alive.
Yet here we are. The mystery still continues.
We're here.
Sure, if putting things right, I don't know what that means exactly, Seer. But I like being alive a lot. And honestly, I'm not really concerned about all the stories. Just this one.
Fascinating. Maybe you're closer than I thought. Nevertheless, the only reason for you to linger here and ask me questions is because you're still itching at that scab. Your journey is with him. You must go to the portal.
What do you know, Zilloff? Letting nature take its course worked really well this time.
Yeah. No. Uh-huh. Thank you. With whatever we're meant to do, kind of look around at everyone. We'll fulfill it. Whatever this jumbled mess is. And I'm happy to just be here for a bit longer. I'm happy. Yeah. He's just going to kind of look around at everybody, and I think we have to get to that portal, yeah?
You get an emphatic nod from Bakal, who is pretty eager to get out of the temple. So
Uh-huh.
As Baz leaves, he's just going to turn to the woman and be like, "I love all this." Then he's going to turn around and go. Because he still has like leaves and sticks in his hair and stuff like that.
I'll have to get your people.
Where do you get your hair done?
In the dirt.
The mud is my people.
So you make your way out. Bakal, as you're making your way maybe back to Glorium, Bakal is just like, what was all of that? What did she spoke as if she knew you. Dozens? What does that mean?
Seems she knows us all, huh?
I think she can count very well.
So we're thinking about Seer's siblings, I guess.
Do you think she's like the dragon?
Dragon?
Oh,
no, not
dragon.
here.
No. We are travelers of sorts, looking for our own answers. We're just happy that you're on board. You prove a lot to us too. We thank you. Oh, I mean, I didn't mean to. That means you're gonna go, right? You're gonna go, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
If it's where I belong. It seems, I don't know why. It seems that I feel like we were meant. I don't believe in fate necessarily, but I feel like this all feels very familiar.
How so?
I don't know how to explain it, but I'm feeling that this is right, that we are to set sail together. So, it's not far. It's only a few miles. We could make it within the hour.
Let's do it.
Does this feel familiar to us as well?
It's a good question. I'll say no.
Okay.
You don't have any
Yeah,
memory of it.
I'm looking back in my notes too, because I remember I had a dream about people, like right after Baldwin and Zilloff came back as kind of this crew.
Hmm.
And so I'm like, is this familiar in the sense of, was this the crew? Was this like, was there anything about that? Or
No.
is it just ship related? Okay.
No. So the new Zilloff and new Baldwin feel familiar from that
Right.
interaction, but all of a sudden, like, you remembering Baz was somewhere in the casino with you. The new Baz, the druidic Baz.
So it's almost like an inserted memory, like, oh gosh, that does look that person was there too, now that I'm thinking about it.
Well, now you're Jenna, do you know who the the next clack would be, or a version of a clack?
Yeah.
Who is that? I guess just what does that individual look like?
That next individual was going to be an autognome.
Okay. So, Cerebella, you're reflecting back on that, and it's like there was 5 of you sitting at a table, enjoying some drinks and in discussions or talking, and like you suddenly realize like all 5 of you had met previously at Fortune's Wheel in some other context.
Okay. Almost
Like,
like how Renee was talking about things, like this has happened before in different versions, different contexts, and sometimes it goes one way, sometimes a different, kind of like that feeling.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll say even like you have a vision of like walking together as those different people across the Outlands, and Rome was with you. And you had the Mimir, like the Mimir was with you as well, like hovering around maybe Baz this time instead of Clack.
Yeah, I'll speak up about those memories to kind of check in, see if others can remember that. I kind of felt like it was a dream, like I was remembering a dream at first, but maybe Renee was rubbing off on me or something. But yeah, I kind of remember different versions of us. Sometimes Rome is with us. Do y'all have those memories?
I think just to insert, I think as soon as it's getting brought up, like all of you have like parts of that. It all feels you're having the same awakening moment of realizing that you've been together many times.
Hmm. We got to get it right this time. I don't want to keep doing this. It's Groundhog's Day kind of thing, you know?
I think we're gonna get it right. Renee had some confidence. I think we're gonna get it right.
I guess I want to get it right as long as it doesn't mean going back to way I was before. Gosh, I want to go back to Nebraska. I don't want to go back to being dead.
I get what you mean. I want to be back home, but I don't want to be under a giant's foot.
Yeah.
So what are the consequences of us getting this right?
Well, maybe. How about we just enjoy the time we have together? Huh?
Which
Yes, you
time?
remember when we were climbing up that big tower? We were trying to get to the top,
Yeah,
and
I
and
didn't like that one.
I swear that I saw my father, and he said something to me like, "Don't screw it up this time." But that's probably not what he said. I think I'm just remembering it that way. I think he said something like that. It made me feel like there was going to be another choice at some point. I don't know what it means. I still don't know what it means, but it kind of is starting to fit together with this feeling that you guys are talking about. So, did we I mean, I know I messed up at home, but is that where we have to fix it, or we fix it here? I don't know.
I can't imagine you all messing things up that badly. Every time there's an opportunity to do something nice and go out of our way, all of you are the first to raise your hands and volunteer and help people. I mean, I I just can't imagine you doing anything too terrible, Baz.
Yeah, hard to imagine, isn't it? Well, anyway, I don't know. I made a bad decision, I guess. I do that a lot. I think I have to figure out how to stop making bad decisions.
Mhm.
Maybe that's what you guys can help me do, is to help me not make bad decisions anymore. I mean, ah, like, you did tell me not to steal the boat just then, so that was kind of good, I guess, because it sounds like it ends it ended up
Oh, I don't know if I'm the
okay.
one to help you then, because I kind of was on your side with that. I thought, well, that could work if one of us could sail it, but
What?
never mind.
I know you were talking about this, and he's right there, like, "Fuck." It's gonna be a long few hours.
It was just a thought. You can't punish people for thoughts.
There's a lot of different viewpoints on that.
Uh,
You've never had an intrusive thought before?
All the time for the past 3 years.
See? You're not that different.
Brainstorming options. If he doesn't sail us, this is the only boat. You know, could we just borrow it? It was just thoughts. You
yeah.
know.
Sure.
We've
I understand.
all gone through. Yeah,
I
we've
seemed
gone
like a
through
hopeless
lot.
cause at the time. You're looking for
Yeah.
alternative options. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Guys ask the call. Did anybody ever come to you and try to convince you to get back on your boat?
Many
Like
times.
a group, like about 5 people come to you.
Might have been a maybe. I don't know. No.
What about monodrone?
Monodrone. Oh. I don't seem to remember any mono drones.
Okay, just making sure. How about a Thrycreen?
There's been a
big
few
Thrycreen?
Thrycreen in the mix over the years. Sure.
What
They're very adventurous folk.
a green one with a shorter sun on a trip.
Are they typically green? I mean, I don't want to be. They're usually kind of a ruddy color. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't remember any green Thrycreen.
Okay. Just checking. That's it. That's all my questions.
So he takes you down to the docks, and you can see the crew is already kind of like gotten the ship ready. They've like the rowers are in position. They've got their oars. And as you're making your way there, you can see like the courier, its wings move up almost to like kind of form like sails to kind of catch some wind to help the stamina of the rowers. And it seems like it's all set. The call loads up if you like last minute things, and asks you to get your house in order and meet him on the ship once you're ready.
We should go get your axe.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about my axe. Yeah. Hey, go ahead.
So before we actually, set sail, who can swim?
I think I could swim.
Okay, you can swim. That's good. I know how to swim.
I guess since I've said I've never been to the sea before, maybe I should say
Oh, yeah.
I can swim.
Sure. Like I've not tried swimming as this kind of this body. She doesn't seem very buoyant.
I get the safety rope. We get the safety rope.
What are you thinking? We're
It's very important. We are going into open water who knows how to swim or not, so who you can rely on. You know, Bess? Can you swim, Bess?
If I can swim. That's me
Okay.
asking. Lyra asking, how do I know if I can swim?
That's a decision to be made with a future D20 roll when you bob it around in the water.
I think I could swim. Yeah.
Oh, I can swim.
Okay, that's cool. If you want to get your axe, Clyde, do you want a couple of swimming lessons before we go out in open water?
Sure, I heard there's a lot of kicking involved. And this.
That's one way of doing it. Yep.
All right. I'm
Shoot,
ready.
this is really weird. How do I swim? I know I can swim. Do I just
It's like an oil slick.
like? Do I just wiggle in the water? I should really
Make yourself
try
nice
this.
and thin and you'll float on the top. Yeah.
Do I become like a seal?
Well, and maybe another question, like this is like a tongue twister. The whirlworms, is that what they're called?
You did very well.
Thank you. Maybe we should know, like, if they're out there, do they have any weaknesses, any recommended ways of fighting them? Because it might be important.
Excellent idea. Let's go ask.
But probably the crew would say, if you know of any weaknesses, there's a whole bunch of sailors back there that would love to know what those are. And they'll just say, best is to hope that we don't see any, and if we do, best is to keep the ship out of proximity, because if they are right up and on the ship, they're large enough that they could capsize or render the boat derelict and cause you all to tumble out. So distance probably would be their word of caution.
Oh, are they water creatures or are they flying creatures or are they both?
sea monsters.
Oh, okay.
Oh, if we get desperate, I can see if the ship constitutes a creature, and maybe we can launch into the sky.
Unfortunately, it does not. It was a vehicle.
Okay.
Zilloff is heading down into the village, and
Yes.
a lot of the training has kind of died down for the moment. People are kind of taking a break, taking a rest. You see the axe is in the stone. You could see Tirza is she's kind of crouched down with some of the other warriors in kind of a circle. Looks like they're kind of trading some stories back and forth, drinking some water, eating some bread.
Hey there. There's gonna be heading out soon. Just still good on that deal.
Yes, as soon as the good captain goes on another voyage, she's all yours.
Oh, returns
Returns.
from the voyage? Is
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, I felt guilty doing that. Now, maybe not so much, huh? Yeah, I'll see that the captain returns.
Well,
Yeah.
that is very important to us that he returns all in one piece.
Sure. I'll leave you with this axe here.
My axe or your axe?
Well, my axe. We're trading. Seen many things.
Okay. She holds out her hand to take your axe.
Well, when the good captain returns, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course.
yeah. Gonna need it.
I think so.
I'm gonna ask maybe if I could get just extra javelins, a few, just
Sure.
some things. Just
She'll,
I'm gonna, yeah.
Point about there's plenty of javelins to go around. She says, "Take what you need."
I'm gonna just haul a handful. I'm bringing javelins on the boat.
Oh, Zilloff, that's not an axe.
Yeah, I know. When they return, I'm not getting. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
look forward to.
I didn't want to talk about it. Got my hopes up a bit. Another deal, I guess. They got the best of me. But you know what? Doesn't matter. It really didn't matter anyway.
You'll show her. You're going to come back. The captain will be fine. You'll get that magic axe.
Yeah. As long as we get back. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, we're
Sure.
getting back. You're getting your axe.
Yeah. Yes. I know how to throw a javelin?
Nope.
Because just whoa.
We're putting javelins on.
It's quite a lot of weight that you're bringing on. Maybe
javelins.
Half of that?
Well, I'll carry them if it's too heavy. No biggie.
That's not what it means.
Come on.
Just just a few less. Just a few less. She's an old bird here.
All right. Okay. I'll leave some here.
Oh, okay. Well, are we all accounted for? Are we ready to head out? He looks to the horizon. I think it's time. And he just takes his seat up at the front of the ship, and all of the men start to sing some sea shanties as they start to oar away from the pier, and you start making your way out into the bay. 30 minutes or so go by, and the village of Glorium is just kind of a speck on the horizon. The it's pretty choppy, the waters, but the skies are clear. Nice blue open skies. No storm clouds in sight. And it seems like the men, and they're singing. Many of the songs are tales, it would seem, of their previous voyages. And hearing some of these glorious war hymns of the past seems to kind of lift Bakal's spirits. He becomes a little less tepid, and starts kind of taking more command maybe of his orders to them on like how to navigate the choppy waters, and everything seems to be going swimmingly. About an hour out into the bay, now you can no longer see the village, and you get the sense that you're kind of have moved out of the bay proper and are maybe more out in the sea. And there is some very the waters up ahead are churning in a very like kind of unnatural pattern. There's just like this swirling kind of maelstrom that you see out further up. The skull by Klak is now not just like chiming a little bit, like it's full on like aquamarine colored glow coming from the sockets, and it's like pulling towards that maelstrom. And Bakal will say, like, it's, you know, it's very loud out at the sea, with all of the waves kind of crashing against the feathers and the hull of the courier. And Bakal's just like shouting out, "This is it! This is the portal! We're going to have to get real close to the maelstrom. You just need to get close, correct?"
Correct. Klak's gonna find some rope to tie himself down.
Okay. Yeah, so you tie a rope around yourself and tie it to, you know, some fixture on the boat or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like Bakal's directing the rowers to kind of like fight against like the churning so that they don't get sucked into the maelstrom, and they're kind of like kind of riding the waves a little bit. And it seems like they've done this before. They've taken people to Iscard, like they've actually gone into this to go to the other side. So like they're practiced in this, and so they're doing a proficient job in that, and you're getting right up close, just to the point where you can feel you could probably start to see the skull start to record some data, and you're just kind of waiting for it to do its little turn to you indicators that you would be able to record something. But you start to see these big, huge fins popping up out of the water, like huge, you know, like 4 feet wide, several feet tall, like poking up out of the water. You see like a tail kind of poke its way up, and it's more than one. And they're starting. It's almost like they're coming right up out of the maelstrom, and they're riding right alongside the ship.
Can we see how many there are?
Make a perception check.
24.
You have spotted 3 distinct fins, different colors, and they're on different sides of the ship. And they're pulling up and out of the water. And one of them, like its face is this ring of teeth. It looks just like one of those statues that you saw in front of the Sea Hag's hovel. And
Ooh.
I'm gonna yell to somebody in the crew and say, "Are these the whirlworms?"
whirlworms!
I thought that. Yep.
And that's where
Sorry,
we'll
pass.
end it for tonight.
That's a long time to wait. A long time to wait.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Will they
Can we
survive? Will the captain find his courage? Will
Find out next
Find
time
out
on
next
Turn
time.
of Fortune's Wheel.
Did I bring enough javelins?
How many javelins did Zilloff bring? The answer is yes.
Yes.
So
So thanks for hanging out with us tonight, everybody. Let's play another chapter of Turn of Fortune's Wheel. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for all of the follows. If any of you are still hanging out there from Lord Gasumba, we really appreciate it. At the end of these games, we take some time for ourselves to tell one another something that made the game special, or something that was memorable, something we call giving gratitude. So we're going to move right into that right now.
I'm gonna give gratitude to Lyra. I really liked her who does your hair job. That made me laugh really hard.
Yeah, jealous. I think Baz is a little jealous. Like, you sea creatures.
I love what you're doing with your hair. It was so good.
I want to throw out some gratitude back at Jenna for remembering to ask about the Modron again, and to Robyn for the sort of the little talk about going back and maybe not, kind of the feelings that that you're having about how this ends.
yeah,
Yeah.
thought. I want to share some gratitude, especially with Isaac, on giving me that chance to be Machiavellian, and you're kind of like pushing back, and so it's a fun pushback. There's been several times, not just this session, where Zilloff will do that, and I enjoy that pushback. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I was gonna give my thanks and appreciation to you. Just you sticking with that character that you have, that is so much not like you, right? But it's just it's hard and difficult to be true to the character, but you're doing an excellent job, and I'm having a lot of fun role playing kind of that with you, especially where my character is now. I really appreciate it.
I think that's really cool to see how Zilloff is with that. And just like that comment about don't listen to those influences. Like, I just love how you're true to Zilloff, but it is that redemption. So that's pretty cool.
I'll have mine go out to Jenna, because always loved little just like callbacks to your own stuff. I was like, yeah, I've seen giants before, a little too close. Yeah, I don't really know how to swim all too much. And it's just like it just makes me giggle every time. It's like, oh no, it's too much.
Too much giant foot.
Oh, especially when Alex said you gotta aim for the toes or whatever, and it's like, ooh, that's hits too close to home.
I
Don't worry. Sorry.
I was just
I
going.
was just gonna
Go ahead.
die a few times and you won't remember that. Sorry about that.
My gratitude would go to Dawson for fully engaging in the RP with the captain. I thought that was really good role play to like kind of bring in and relate to him, just based on and like the way that you navigated it too. Like it wasn't like, oh, our first attempt at convincing this guy, shucks, it didn't work. But like you really like pulled something in that was more than I'm just going to spin up some different words. I'm going to, how could I talk to the boat maybe to like get some insight on what's going on with them, and then use that to relate to them. Like, it was just very, very, very intentional what she did. And I think it told us a little bit more about Baldwin. And I think it was just very helpful for me to, like, it was affirming, I think, of this encounter, because I'll tell you what the book says. You could pay Bakal 100 gold pieces, and he'll take you on a ride to the portal.
Oh, really, it is just money.
No, it's
After
money.
all that,
That's what
I'll-
there's no depth to Bakal in the the book. It's just you could pay him 100 gold pieces, and then you go to the portal, and then you fight this the fight that we're about to do. But it seemed not. I don't know.
this is so much more meaningful.
Yeah.
I
My-
feel.
My
Yeah.
gratitude
past is
goes to
traumatic.
Alex for for giving depth to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
way
no
cooler this way. Like I'm
Yeah.
excited to go fight with him now.
It's
It
just
felt we
texture.
needed an epic, like Glorium needs to be like an epic poem that we were going to build together. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you took to that, you ran with it, so that's good. So cool. Well, yes, I'm sorry that we have to wait 2 weeks to get to this combat. It'll be looming over us for a little bit, but we will be back in 2 weeks' time for another chapter of this. We do have another game yet this week, tomorrow night. Isaac, you want to? Well, I'm looking up someone to raid. Will you tell us a little bit about what's going on tomorrow night?
Sure. Tomorrow night on Forbidden Lands, the group has just come across a bakery, I guess, and the baker. They dealt with that situation, but they're looking north to the future. They're looking to try to find a halfling village, or at least an outpost, and to get riches, allies, and maybe some of their precious items and horse back. So please stay tuned and go hang out with us tomorrow as we see what the heck happens. I'm as curious as everyone else.
Awesome. Yes. So check us out for that. We are 20 sides to every story. Come join us in our Discord server. I'll pop the link to that in the chat there. I know, Matt, you were out there somewhere. I think he left, but a number of us are going to be heading out to GaryCon next week. So if you're going to be at GaryCon, let us know. We'd love to touch base, have a beer, play a game, whatever. It's always fun to go to these conventions and run into people that have been watching us or have played in the game with us in the past. So would love to see you. We're gonna pass a raid off now to Lost Caravan RPG. So come join the raid and let's support a fellow D&D streamer here. All right, have a good night.